Abracadabra, Alakazam. What's good, YouTube? Today I give you the wonkiest deck I think I've ever put out there. Today we are talking Alakazam EX. So this Pokemon is pretty unconventional. If you want to see something a little more in line with standard deck building, be sure to go check out Blastoise. If you want to see something fun, be sure to go check out Wigglytuff. If you want to tell me what you think on the 151 meta, be sure to go check out that video in the description. With that said, I'm going to try to dive right in and explain my thought process. So we're going as I approach the card. So when I looked at Alakazam, the card was very interesting to me. We're going to work backwards from here. So we're playing 3 copies of Alakazam. So this card here has 1 interesting attack. The rest of the stats on the card I don't really give two flames about. 310 hit points, Mind Jack, 90 plus 30 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, whatever. Dimensional Manipulation. The only reason I'm looking at this card today. 120 damage for 2 Psychic Energy. You can use this attack from the bench.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That unlocks a lot of doors. My thought process goes, how do I abuse that attack? How do I set this up? How do I abuse? So the first question I asked was, how do I set it up? I need to run a consistent enough line of the Alakazam. So we're running 1 copy of the Kadabra, first Kadabra in 20 years. For 1 energy, it does 30 and switches back to the bench and put something else in the active. Maybe we'll play 1, 2 of those, still undecided. Then we're gonna play as many of our basic as possible because we wanna see it turn 2. So we're playing 4. So we're getting away with the max counts here. It's a 50 hit point Pokemon. It's very frail. I'm sitting there going, ah, darn it. And I'm like, next question. What ability do I want to slap in the active to really punish my opponent? So the first thing that comes to mind, what if they can't hit through us? So we play 1 copy of Mimikyu from Paldea Evolve. Safeguard protects itself from your opponent's Pokemon EX and V. Okay, so they need a boss to go around Mimikyu unless they have a 1 prizer. Not many decks do. So Mimikyu is the first one. What if we lock them out of things? So we have Tinglu EX. As long as your opponent's Pokemon have damage counters on them and they're not an EX Pokemon, they can't use their abilities. This shuts off Archeops. This shuts off Baxcalibur. This shuts off Perlias. You name it. There's a bunch of non-EX Pokemon. Tinglu is a situational card at best. Now, what's the most annoying thing that people are not respecting? Retreat Lock. So we're playing 2 copies of Pokemon Go Snorlax. So people are playing a control deck built around this card. It has 150 hit points. It has an incredible ability. As long as this Pokemon's in the active, your opponent's Pokemon can't retreat. So if you put them in the active, you win. Wasn't there an Umbreon running around locking like really bad Pokemon in the active and just not letting them move? We don't even have to attack with this. And then we can dimensional manipulation and knock stuff out. Why not try Retreat Stall? Some decks don't even play Switch. Lugia doesn't even play Switch. We can just put something in the active that they can't attack with and we win. That's literally the easiest win condition. So we have Lock, we have Ability Lock, we have Retreat Lock. Fantastic. Now, how do we make this pile of a deck work? Then my lizard brain went to Pidgeot. I want specific cards every single turn. So why not play Pidgeot EX? It lets me search for a single card every turn. It also has free retreat. So if any of these fine folks get knocked out, we have an immediate answer to pivot up to because we never want to be putting Alakazam in harm's way until we're ready to go for game. So we have Pidgeot, free retreat, and item search. And it's a big hulking 280 body. So that's not bad. And we can also throw it to sponge a hit if we have to. And with 151 right out the door, we have the brand new Pidgey. So Call for Family lets us search our basics. So it allows us to kind of grab what we're going to stall with the following turn, or grab an Abra, or grab something. So Pidgey just provides value, Pidgeot provides value. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking. We're not quite there with the Pokemon line. We need to protect our bench. I don't want them going around. I don't want a G-Max Rapid Flow on the bench. I don't want Moonlight Shuriken going around on the bench. We're not playing Klefki because we want to protect our small Pokemon. Klefki would shut that off and they just go around it. Don't do that. Klefki doesn't fit here. You have to build in an entirely different way if you do. To really take advantage of Tinglu and Math through dimensional manipulation, we play Radiant Alakazam. It only felt fitting. So why not just like keep that line rolling, right? Painful Spoons lets you move 1 damage or up to 2 damage from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one. So I figured dimensional manipulation, we hit something, maybe move a couple damage the following turn. At least Radiant Alakazam could attack in worst case scenario. And since I'm only attacking with 2 energy and we did not get the incredible Xatu yet, we're only playing 6 Psychic Energy. Realistically, I only want 2. I'm playing 3 times as many. If you haven't tuned out yet, this is where I'm sitting. So we're trying to stall something in the active or deal with something in the active and safely hit from the bench. I don't want them drawing into the combo pieces that they wanted. So I'm playing 4 copies of Iona. So it shuffles your hand, puts it at the bottom, draw a card for each prize card you have remaining. So if your opponent's taking a lot of prizes early and thinking they got the jump on us, that's okay. We're going to really neuter their hand and take stuff away from them. That's the idea. But we're not going to just stop with the Ionos. We're going to play Judge. Sometimes you can judge your opponent into a really bad hand. So each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws until they have 4 cards. We have Pidgeot, so we're hoping to really rely on quick search rather than our draw supporter. We're just trying to mess with them. If they can't draw the pieces they need, they can't really finish us off. That's the thought process. We do have to play a couple cutesy supporters. 2 Boss, because sometimes we need to pick that ugly target we're going to stall with. So Boss with Lax in play sometimes just wins you the game right there. We're playing 2 copies of Penny because Snorlax is pretty big and Tinglu is pretty big. Sometimes we just want to pick it up, put it back in the active active and slap it down again. So Penny's nice in that regard. 3 1-ups. 1 Roxanne, because they will get to 3 prize cards and eventually just want to crush their hand. So we can put them down to 2 cards once they have 3 prizes left. 1 Jacques. When Xatu comes out, I think Jacques might be a 2-of in this deck because it allows you to grab Kazams, Kadabras, and Zatus. 1 Raihan. Sometimes we miss a beat. We need to grab an item card out of our deck or grab something out of our deck as well as attach an energy. The Raihan is good in that sense. Let's just kind of keep the combo rolling. And then, of course, we're working on the item cards. So here's what I'm thinking is, so we're playing Pidgeot, we're playing Kazam. We need all 4 of our candy. If we could play 5, we would. And then we have to kind of keep going with our consistency here. So we're playing 4 Ultra Ball because it lets us discard 2 cards from our hand to search for any Pokemon. So we are constantly trying to see the cards that we need when we need them. Now, this is the one where I was back and forth and I'm like, We play 3 Nest Ball, which lets us search for our basic Pokemon and put them onto our bench. So we can grab any of these boys, any of those. But then we're going with 2 Fog Crystal here. The Fog Crystal has 2 uses. It lets us grab a Psychic Energy or a Psychic Pokemon. So it's grabbing everything. The Mimikyu grabs Psychics, grabs Kazams, grabs Abras, you name it. It just has a lot of targets. I almost went with a 4 of, but again, I still needed a couple Nest Balls to grab the Tinglus and the Snorlaxes. So we're undecided, maybe 3 Fog Crystals, 2 Nest Balls. Not sure quite yet. We're still experimenting. 2 copies of Super Rock because we are going to lose stuff. We are going to have to constantly put stuff back into the deck. 2 Escape Rope because sometimes we just want to push their active Pokemon out of the way and then we'll hit something smaller, and it gives us a chance to get the block lax going. Hisuian Heavy Ball because my prizes have been awful and I don't trust myself. So we can just replace Hisuian Heavy Ball with Pokemon that hid in our prizes as long as it's basic and go off that. Copy of Palpad. I mentioned that we want to use some of these supporters multiple times. Sometimes we just want to spam Iono Judge and just keep them out of the game. Sometimes we want 4 bosses. Sometimes we want more pennies. You name it. If we want it, we'll have it. But Palpad just allows some flexibility. And then, of course, we're playing 3 stadiums. So we don't really care about stadiums. We do, but we don't. Like Quick Search, usually we're going to play it around it. So we're going to play Pokemon League Headquarters. So all the basic Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponents, have 1 more in their attack cost. Or it does stop Sableye. It doesn't stop Cramorant. There's a few other basic deck. Miraidons need a little more. But whatever. They can bump it, but at least we're going to make them have the answer to it with the Iono or Judge. 1 Temple of Sinnoh. This one's for Lugia or Mew. They're going to try to use some fancy shenanigans. We're not going to allow that. So Temple of Sinnoh is all special energy in play, have no additional effects and are only colorless. So that one there just buys us time if we try to put something in the active and they're about to double turbo retreat it. We don't want that. We want them to kind of really have to manually attach and burn attachments and kind of play the control-y like resource element there. 1 copy of Path to the Peak. So I know what you're thinking. Brandon, this is very counterintuitive. We are playing Pidgeot, we are playing Kazam, Tinglu, etc. Well, Path to the Peak is late game. So the Roxanne and the Path to the Peak are late game. So once they've gotten to a particular point and we know they've burned a handful of resources and they've probably burned their 1 escape rope, 1 switch that like a lot of decks like to play, then we're going to slap that down. Then we're going to start punishing them because they don't have the movement, they don't have the draw, they don't have whatever. So this is Brandon's attempt at a control attacking Alakazam. I don't think it's perfect. I'm not quite sure where it falls on the tier list. I did put it low, but I'm here to experiment with it. I do think when we get Paradox Rift, the Psychic type Xatu that lets you attach a Psychic Energy and draw 2 cards to one of your bench Pokemon helps the deck greatly because then we might not have to play Pidgeot and we can just raw draw and build a fat hand and then maybe even play like a 1/1 Melodic or something. But I do think that's worthwhile and it's Fog Crystal searchable, so it adds more there. This one I've been thinking about for weeks. I had a few people go, Brandon, what the hell am I looking at here? I don't even understand how this is supposed to function. I am not going to pretend to be a control player. I am just going to pitch an idea that came to mind. Hopefully it stirs your creativity and you let me know what you were playing with Alakazam in 151. Have fun and let me know what you're playing in the next format. Till next time, take care.